Thank you. In the last few minutes, the oil giant BP have announced a sharp fall in profits.
Ben's here with more on that and the rest of today's business news.
Yeah, morning, Chair.
Speaking to people from both sides of the argument about whether or not Britain should leave the EU.
Abroad, the Texas Senator Ted Cruz has beaten Donald Trump in the first vote of the US presidential nomination race.
Right now, joining us from our London studio is John Harris, a professor of science ethics at the University of Manchester. David King is director of Human Genetics Alert, and he joins us from Westminster. Morning, both. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. John Harris, and we've seen a little bit about how this is done, and why do you think it should be done?
Well, it should be done.
David King, if I would. I mean, there are, at this point, there will be strict guidelines. You wouldn't be able to keep, for example, an embryo more than 14 days.
That is true, and that's one reason.
Just pick up one of the points, again, that David made about if you forward-winded to the future, that people would be judged on the basis of their genes, and then it would be, you know, on whether or not you could afford to do this.
Continue for a long, long time. It's been most stimulating listening to you both. I'm afraid we're out of time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, David King, John Harris, thank you both.
Time for the weather from Carol. Situation in Scotland is getting a bit easier. A Scottish tourist has been killed by an elephant while on holiday in Thailand. The man, who's been named as Gareth
If you would answer that question, and what would Britain outside Europe look like?
We've been very clear.
I'm just going to interrupt you, if I could, for a while. You two, do you think, given that what we've heard today, and we will get, as I say, details later, that the referendum could come as soon as early June? Looseness, but there will be lots more discussion between now and June. Thank you very much indeed. Lucy Thomas, Robert Oxley, thank you both.
But they did agree that June was
that's
the most likely date.
You're right.
That was one thing I agreed on.
They did agree on that.
It's just coming up to 8:15. This is Breakfast. These are the main stories. Storm Henry has been causing some problems for people in Scotland this morning.
It has. 3,000 homes have been without electricity, and the Forth and Tay road bridges are closed, in fact, to high-sided vehicles.
Well, let's get more from our Scotland.
The storm. Carol's here. We found out the next name. You, in fact, told me, Carol.